What's up, everybody, and welcome to the D&D Aftershow. I almost said Dark Heresy for some reason. I have no idea why that actually is. Dynamite. Welcome. This is the Aftershow. You made this happen, and we appreciate it. We just got done with a pretty major combat in which it had ended with a little bit of a plot twist with some weird things happening. How's everybody feeling about this session? What do people like? What do people not like? I really enjoyed that session, actually. That session was a blast.
Oh, you're talking about the pink thing that came down and exploded everything. Yeah, it definitely was a blast.
It came from the ground and shot upwards.
An explosion happened on the ground that caused the shockwave, is what my guess is. And whatever caused that created the pillar of light, or whatever was the source of the pillar of light generated a shockwave.
Speaking about
something
pillars,
turning on, something exploding.
Now that our guide is either missing or dead, how are we going to find that pillar anyway?
Well, we knew roughly where it was. We had like a vague map.
Yeah,
but if it took us 3 days, if it took us 3 days to get to this little country house, and that's a lot of distance to cover, it would take a long time to find a pillar.
I'll just ask the animals nearby. I'll be like, look,
we'll be going back to the druid's place or whatever. We can go back to the druids and be like, hey, our guide died. Can we have a new one?
Yeah, you killed him, didn't you? You little fuckers. Get the hell out of the circle.
Who knows what we're going to find in the cellar? We might find all kinds of
an entrance to the mine that's going to be full of level.
Yeah, this is the mine
20
entrance.
dudes.
This is the mine entrance for sure. This is the one that dwarf was going to be like, hey, I'll take you out there sometime.
No, because this would have to have been someone else.
The combat was kind of unique in that this is one of those combats where I took a sharp left turn at the outset, just because I wanted to. Well, people will see in future episodes. If you haven't watched the VOD yet, I highly recommend that you do. But this was definitely like loaded. This one was definitely loaded like on the back end, basically. Like the cool stuff in this VOD happened like in the last 2 hours with all like the exposition and just like, oh no, things are happening.
Yeah, no, I really liked it, and specifically, I super enjoyed the combat in that one. I felt it flowed better. I felt that it gave us a much more interesting and cinematic experience. Specifically, it felt like our characters were actually heroes of some level, you know, because stat-wise, they are definitely above the average person, like quite above in certain areas.
We're going to wake up tomorrow and Nosan is going to have like yellow stripes down his chest. He's going to have his underwear outside his pants. It's going to be amazing.
I'll be in a yellow jumpsuit, red gloves, cape, bald head. It's going to be great.
He's going to be trying to fly off
the use of my spear from now on. I'm just going to punch things.
He's going to try to fly off every cliff, and he's going to be like, Dax, heal me. I can do this.
I'll jump. It's fine. But
Dax's healing was pretty clutch this time around.
Dax is amazing with that. Actually.
It's why, because I went live cleric. I went live cleric for just this exact purpose.
It's like, oh, people are dying. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it.
It really showed off how our characters are different to regular individuals. And that is what I really liked. Although, like the super thing something which wouldn't have been possible if we were rolling the way we usually do, the amount of enemies. We had a pitched battle here. Normally, that would have taken like a 4-hour session, if not more, to resolve. But because of the way that we were flowing, they still represented a threat to us, like quite a reasonable threat, simply because of the amount of damage that they were capable of doing, because there was that many of them. But we could eliminate them quickly. So it always felt like we were kind of on the crest of the wave, but never being overwhelmed by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what I was sort of aiming for with that combat. Yeah, this was.
I used everything I had apart from one spell slot, and as it turned out, my inspiration, because that never actually mattered.
This was supposed to be a slog battle. This was supposed to be kind of a mid-boss fight, and so actually, I was glad that you guys ended the fight with so many resources gone, because that's what you really want as a DM from a mid-boss fight. Like, I'm cheering for you guys, but if you guys breeze through a fight without expending anything, and you're just like, oh yeah, we're perfectly good, we punched everything to death. It's kind of like, okay, well, I feel like I didn't make a good, entertaining experience. What I liked about this fight was that people were getting stabbed. People were going down. Like, HPs were going up and down, like, precipitously in between turns. And, like, characters were being forced to play their roles. You know, heals were flying everywhere. You had a Davi just unloading with... He was doing what sorcerers do, which is essentially being a magical machine gun, you know, to get rid of enemies.
That was actually really cool to watch. I think it's the first time we've seen a Davi do that. Like, seriously, just unload the crazy spells. Like, Pwah! I love that. The idea of that just blowing poison in their face. And they just... just collapse, convulsing on the floor. So
Well, to be fair, Abak, that's the first time I've actually landed my spells. They tend to miss a lot.
Yeah, we got to get your as you level, your DC should go up. But
Proficiency bonus goes up at level 5?
4, I think. 4 or 5 in there somewhere.
We'll get there.
And so as
I've
your
gotta
DC
say-
gets better, it'll get easier.
The most badass thing that I'm taking away from that like out of everything any of us did, like there was some amazing moments, like the Adavi poison ray and the blowing poison, but Mormon hurling the calling that a throw, hurls the axe back.
Yeah.
Like, you're all talking. It's like, fair enough. Whomp, whoop, and just smacks him again.
That is the best part.
The most
Yeah.
badass moment in that fight was it's like, okay, action surge. It's like,
Can
I've
we
been
get
looking forward to being able to use the axe teleporting thing.
That was so good, so good.
Can we get some applause though for that bush? That bush was just surviving everything.
Bush is the real MVP.
Yeah.
Bush was the MVP.
Never went down, never needed healing or nothing.
It was
You
like
gotta
the
add the
GTA
bush on fire.
bushes.
Should
guys
have set
gotta
that
get-
bush on fire.
Yeah, you got to get a wagon and just carry around the bush behind you. And then if combat starts, you just jump behind the wagon with the
Everyone
bush.
behind the
No,
bush.
we use
Yeah,
the
but
bush
yeah.
as armor. The bush is impenetrable. We need to use it as armor. You wear it.
That's true. You have druids. I mean, they've proven already that they can do some pretty complex woodworking.
Secretly, all their
I
armor is
enjoyed
made
that
from
stuff.
bushes, and they're all like AC 30.
No,
What can
I
you tell us-
quite enjoyed it. It had
What
a
can you
lot
tell
of-
us about the elves? Because they seem super secretive. It's like, oh, you find out they're elves. No one knew they were elves? Like, what?
Why
Yeah,
would
yeah.
a slave race advertise where they were?
True, but I mean, we've had contact with people who talk
Yeah.
to the elves, right?
Yeah.
And yet no one's mentioned it.
Either they were hooded.
they probably
in-
didn't want to
in
put us off.
uniform or something. Yeah. Like I
Nobody
imagine they
likes
could
elves,
hide
so
it if they
it's
had
like-
very minimum contact. Sorry, Bentham, go ahead.
They just were like, oh yeah, just go visit the druids and work things out with them. So they're
So
like,
what
go
can you
visit
tell
the
us
elves.
about the
Everyone
druids?
hates elves. I don't visit elves.
They're
I would
druids.
love
They can
if that was the
transform
reason
into
that
animals.
Adam Brothers like, no, I'm not going to tell them they're elves. They'll just say no. No, I'm not going to tell them they're elves. And I was like, yeah, you got to go meet the elves. Elves? Do we look
You
like
what?
garbage people? What? No.
Are they in the
I'll take my
dungeon?
chances with the plague. Poor
Everyone really
elves.
hates elves in this world.
The basic rough story about the elves is that the world gets created by Amaleth and Honora, the Grey Lady. They make Aedmon and they make Glenna, who work on like the land and the creatures and all that kind of stuff, as just like their children. And after humans get populated and a bunch of drama there, Balmunder comes through the plains and attacks this place because he's like, oh, cool, somebody already like made the bed for me and everything. Well, this is mine now. And he, having previously enslaved the elves, uses them as foot soldiers to invade. So they've always been slaves. They were slaves to the Dark God before they were slaves to the humans and everyone else left after the war was over. And so only just now is public opinion starting to turn around. Like, elves are still very much hated, but at the same time, they're not slaves anymore. But there are still elves alive who definitely were slaves because they're so long-lived. Like, they live a really, really long time. And so that puts us in kind of a situation where here on the Vagrant Isle, it becomes a very attractive prospect for somebody like that who has like a gaggle of, 150 elves or whatever. They can say, hey, why don't we just sail to the Vagrant Isle and we'll make our own place and we don't have to deal with the real world anymore because they hate us anyways. We can get away. We can escape and create our own little culture over here where it's just us and we don't have to worry about, this bullshit anymore.
I have a follow-up question though, and this is probably just because I don't know the D&D universe. Why do people hate elves?
Just in
Splat hates
general.
elves.
Oh, I got it. So it's
Yeah,
just
normally
Splat's
elves
universe.
aren't that hated.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's just Splat. Splat just dislikes elves.
It's
I don't
not
like their
normal
holier
D&D.
than thou, I'm so pretty bullshit attitude. It upsets
Does
me.
it have anything to do with them being the slave foot soldiers of the Dark God who was trying to take over everything?
Well, they fought a war.
Yeah.
They fought the
Hmm.
war against the
And they were
humans
the
and all
bad
people on the
guys
good
in
side.
that war against their will. But if somebody fights
Yeah, but they
against you
lost. But they lost, and you got them as slaves now, so who cares?
Yeah, let me tell you how World War One went. Ah,
Go on,
Yeah,
I'm all
history.
ears.
That's the short and skinny version of it. I've actually got like 6 or 7 pages typed out on like a primer to the world, but I'm kind of worried by the time I get it done, it's gonna be too late. So I'll probably put an accelerant on it.
Accelerants like fuel
Paraffin,
and
then
match.
just... Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right. So, in regards to this session, did we cross any thresholds or anything like that?
Not yet. You're getting close, though. So if you have ideas for what you want to do with your next level, I will tell you that you're getting really, really close to level 4. So get your stuff in mind right now so that when we go into the next after show, basically you'll be like, all right, well, I wanted this, this, and this, and we'll just have to roll HP or take the median value if you're EE.
Hey, no, if we're re-rolling ones, I'm rolling. Man, re-rolling ones makes it statistically so much better.
Yeah.
It's okay. You
But,
can take the safe road.
Yep.
I'm taking the
You're always
statistically
welcome to it.
best route, which normally is to take the medium, but if we're rolling ones, that's so much better than like
You
the
goddamn
mediums.
munchkin. You munchkin.
See,
You
and then there's
gotta
me,
change-
who's
you
like,
gotta
I'll
change
just
your-
roll for everything. I roll, and then I end up with like 18 decks. It's like, yeah.
EE needs to change his
Karma
name
is seeing me
from
right.
from EE to MM because he's min-max. That's what he does.
Oh, poor E.
just turn
To
the
be
E's,
fair.
Picked on
turn
now.
the E's sideways,
To be
and then you're
fair.
good to go.
Doesn't look much work.
It's okay. See his flag behind him on the wall. That's the EE flag. It's sideways. It's perfect. We knew it all along. We just didn't, connect the dots.
Well, if I had a
It's MM.
flagpole and a wind, I could put it the normal way. But I'm lacking wind in my
Wow.
apartment, and I kind of like
I
keeping
like
the
where
falls.
you went with that.
Get a desk
like
fan.
where-
Stick it next to it.
I'm not sure a desk fan would be powerful enough.
It would have to be like the lightest material flag ever.
I mean, it is. Like, flag material is pretty light.
A really good
but
fan.
A desk fan is not going to do it.
Or a really good fan, yeah. Really, like a wind tunnel fan.
that might
Just
work.
mount on your wall.
Like, the fans they use for, like, blowing people's hair for, like, photo shoots, that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, with photo shoots, you don't have audio, so we would be like, what? Who? At least we can't hear Monica though.
True.
That's true. The harmonica didn't even come out once in this session.
Well,
It was
because I did the
harmonica.
inspiration just, like, out of combat as soon as, like, shit was going down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it now. Everyone can have one.
That
All
worked
in
out
all-
so well. That inspiration was so clutch.
Yeah, that inspiration helped a bunch of people on random
It's
stuff.
21 damage with that inspiration.
It was
Completely forgot once again that I have great weapon fighting and I can reroll 1s and 2s when I'm using the great sword, and I'm now scrolling through being like, there's a 2. Damn
There
it.
was
There's
there was a
another
lot
one.
of stuff.
Damn it.
There was a lot of stuff forgotten.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Like,
it.
when you twined your spell, you should have attack rolled twice, but because we were, like, running out of time and stuff, the attack roll once. Was that the one you used the inspiration on?
Yes. No,
So
I rolled twice, but it was disadvantage because we were close range.
Yeah,
right?
but it should have been 2 attacks separately, so it'd been 2 disadvantages rather than just 1 attack.
Oh, yeah, I only rolled the disadvantage once. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So basically, the inspiration technically counted twice there, which was like maxing out the usage of it.
I didn't even think
Did that
about
matter
it.
though? 'Cause he-
Probably, yeah, because the second one could have missed.
Oh yeah, because you would have then had to roll twice for both of those. Yeah. I was thinking, but the true rolls still work, but there's more, so it would be lower probably because dice. By the way, in that combat, I healed in total thanks to both what is it? Yeah, Second Wind and Dax. I healed more health than I have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Healed
Yeah, no, no.
28.
I completely
That is
expected that.
glorious.
That's
That is absolutely
normal.
glorious.
you guys still had
Of
healing
course.
potions too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but healing potions
Yeah.
cost so much. There are like
Oh,
yeah,
last
but-
resort.
Mormon.
I was like in my mind starting to reason like if Dax goes down, I need to spend my turn getting over to him. I don't know how this is going to work, but I basically need to get that healing potion into him in that turn,
Yeah, like
and then
in a
put
clutch.
myself in such a way that any further shots have to go through me to get to him.
Yeah, in a clutch
Moment.
situation like that, I just become a heal bot. Like I'm like, I could do cool stuff with my spells, but honestly, a Davi does more damage, and while I can do cool stuff, I need to do the heal bot stuff right now because we are taking so much damage.
Mormon, you still have those mysterious potions. You could use them on this guy that we captured, Mr. Featherhead. If it doesn't kill him, then yeah, cool.
I don't have the
Did you say
mysterious
Mormon?
potions.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Mormon. No son.
son.
My
Not son,
bad.
yeah.
They're gonna be offered to you
No, you're a
when you're
bastard.
thirsty. When you're thirsty, I know you won't refuse it.
You gotta soak some
He's like,
candy in it.
You're
Oh,
like,
man,
oh, it's Powerade.
I'm so thirsty.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. What is this?
What
It's-
powers it gives you, nobody knows.
It's fruit juice. You
It's
love
red.
fruit juice.
Does it
It's
matter?
red.
Like, no.
What flavor is it? Red. Give me red.
It's the purple stuff. You love purple stuff. Come on, man. Does Britain have the purple stuff commercial?
No.
It's a Sunny D commercial. It's so good.
Right. Okay.
So what do we want to do? We want to talk about how the elvish guy who's able to like fold the trees to do whatever the fuck he wants them to do without even saying a word is unable to notice that his soil has been poisoned. How does he not notice this?
He just didn't think to check the fertilizer.
Necromancy.
He was like, I put fertilizer on the crops. They died. I put fertilizer on the crops. They died.
He didn't say that they died. He said that they just didn't grow. Like they were being odd, and it happened right after an emissary from,
Yeah.
Woodley started going over there and
strike me as
making
odd.
threats and promises.
But honestly, everything on the Vagrant Isles strikes not on as odd at this point.
Alternatively, you don't know how long the rituals and incantations took to get the trees like that. That's one of those things good to have like a 2-decade run-up time of just non-stop working on it and infusing magical energy and whatnot. So
been around for like 90 years, so
yeah, they've had time to dig in basically and make their little ritual circles and make stuff happen.
This is just when Adavi got out of that tree in the morning and contacted Lysander. There was so many questions he wanted to ask, but I just didn't want to take up too much time. So it's all these inconsistencies. Like, how have you been here so long and you haven't seen these weird fucking things that are abducting people? And you have a fucking mine somewhere in the forest here that leads right to their base. How have you not sent anyone to explore it?
Elves
I'm
don't
so
go
glad
beneath
that
the
Davi
earth.
didn't get
They don't
to
like
be
that at all.
Confrontational. I'm so glad that didn't happen while I was sleeping.
Like I can see why all of that sort of happened. Like they are very insular. They wouldn't really explore, etc. The necromancers would try and leave them alone, not to pester them, so they didn't get involved because they're dangerous. I still can't understand how he couldn't understand that the fertilizer was poisoned, though. I'd have been like, that would be like the first thing I'd check. I'd be like, let's check the fertilizer. Surely he's good at nature, right? He should know about fertilizer.
He's a leader. He's not a planter.
Get one of his planter people to deal with it. I don't know. Well, I can understand the rest, like, because they're insular.
They have extra scars where he slapped them with his ring hand. He just like leaving just cuts all over their faces all the time. He's like, make it work. I don't want excuses.
The thing is, as an elf, you're really gonna hate a scar because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna live for like another 900 years with this. This is terrible.
True.
You get that imprint, that P from Pete when he punched you in the face, and it just stays there for the rest of your life. Never goes away.
You have to find someone with regenerate, and that's such a high level spell.
So what does everyone think's going on? So what does everyone think's going on? I mean, obviously Splat's not going to tell us the secrets.
I don't know until we check out that cellar, but that is definitely something I want to go do.
I want to interrogate the doggos.
Yeah, that's what I think you want to do. But what does the cellar have to do with what's going on here? It's just a cellar. It's whatever.
I guess we'll go in and see.
You guys had terrible perception checks, like terrible perception checks in there, due to the exhaustion or whatever it was, and so it was just like, man, the DC was actually pretty low to locate the cellar, which was hidden, but like, it was bad enough, and I didn't mind that at all. Actually, I didn't mind that at all, because if you had found the cellar, chances are things would have played out a little differently.
All right, don't tell us too much.
But we got extra information. We know that the Ziggurat was around here.
Yeah. That was cool. Talking to the cows.
Do you know Ziggurat?
This thing, every time there's any animals anywhere, you're just going to be able to be like, hey, so tell me all the things that have ever happened here.
Splat's like, basically, no, there's no animals in the world. They're all dead. You killed them all.
Well, at a certain point, I'll just start enforcing it by their intelligence level.
You have CCTV of the entire island, and at any point you can just walk up to anything and be like, hey, what happened here for the last year?
I mean, it's the same thing in Shadowrun.
This happened.
Like, if you have a mage in Shadowrun, you can walk up to any street corner and just be like, street spirit, what happened here? And it'll be like, oh yeah, somebody got shot over by the garbage can. He looked like this. And you're like, all right, thank you, spirit. Like, it's just, you can do it in Shadowrun too.
It's just like legit use of like, what tools do you have in front of you? Like, I could have picked up a spells, but I was like, I'm pretty tempted by this one. The problem is, like, if you ask like a random like squirrel nearby, you'd be like, did you see anything? Squirrel would be like, yeah, I was here 10 minutes ago looking for nuts, but normally I'm not in this part of the forest. But you had cows sitting there. I was like, oh great, cows are always watching. This is like CCTV for me. It's not useful CCTV. They can't tell you what someone looked like, but good enough.
I was fully expecting you to ride one of them into battle.
I was very
I
tempted.
expected you to run off towards the pen, mount a cattle, and just come back. Woo!
I would have if we'd have had more time, but
could've-
I was too busy casting heal and stuff.
You could have made it glow.
Is there like any sort of range on the communicate with animals? You could have just like shouted across the fields, "Hey, come over here! I'll give you grain if you trample these dogs."
I mean, they were trapped in their pen, so they need to break out. But like, I can just shout. Like, they understand me. It's just normal vocals.
Cows weigh a lot. Most pens don't
Imagine
really hold
if they
the
really wanted
cattle
to,
so
if
much.
food was involved.
Yeah, I need to really motivate them,
Is
though.
more the case.
Like, I need to roll really well on my persuasion
Really
check.
high charm check.
Yeah.
super
That's why
high.
when you've got a pen, you always use cattle guards
Yeah.
because they won't step
Cattle
over
guard.
anything that's got gaps in it. Cows don't like they don't like things that look like vents, and so you just
Yep.
surround the entire pen with that, and they won't cross it because they hate it.
It's because they'll like break their legs if they slip.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they don't like it none. That's how they keep them from crossing the roads here. Every time when you're like driving around in like the cattle field part of town, they'll have cattle guards that cross the street where the cars are, and it just keeps the cows from ever crossing right there, so they can pipeline them around the way they want them to go.
Oh, I can't wait until the next level though for my character. Starts to get some interesting abilities then.
Yeah,
I get level 2
Yeah,
spells.
I'm trying to figure out
Wow.
what is more better. Why am I saying more better? What is more interesting than the current status of the monk? Oh, higher levels monk. Oh, okay, good to go.
Deflect missile is going to be pretty cool. If I haven't already used my bonus action, actually no, I think it's my
It's a
reaction.
reaction.
But yeah, so as long as I've got my reaction, if someone shoots me, or and it doesn't matter, like slingshot or whatever, or throw something at me. If it's a ranged attack, like a physical ranged attack, I can try to catch it. So, for example, it would be 1d10 plus my dex plus my monk level, and that would be taken off the damage because it would have to hit me first, and if it did hit me, then I would remove that number from their damage, and if it dropped to 0 or less, I actually catch it. And if I have key points and I want to use one of them, I can throw it back at them in the same reaction, and I count it as being proficient with it. It's basically a monk weapon. I can just hurl it back. So someone shoots an arrow, I just catch it at the end, and I throw it back and hit them in the face or something. It would be
That's
so bad.
crazy.
It would be so cool. I'm really waiting to be able to use that.
I want to see that happen. I want to see you and Mormon have a spat, and he tries to do like the disappearing axe trick, but you're
problem
like,
is-
nope, I got it, and then you throw it back at him before he can do anything.
But
then
then I
he just
teleport
teleports
it
it
back
to his
into my
hand.
hand.
Yeah, but your
Teleport
your
back to
teleport
it
is a
again.
bonus action, not a reaction, so you can't do it in response to an attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it takes you like a second
hey,
rather than
that
just like
moment.
fraction.
But he can at least teleport it out of his face
But I could
into his hand.
could throw. No, yeah, it wouldn't.
Then this
It would
just
need to
turns into
impact you.
Dark Heresy where we count everybody's reactions. Be like, does he have a reaction left? All right, I'm not going to attack him because he doesn't have a reaction left. Hold on. He's going to dodge it.
That's super meta. But no, I quite like that. In fact, next level is my monastic tradition, which is a big thing for me because I get my 3rd monk level at that point, so I can actually pick which type
Can you
of
jump
monk
between
I'm
darkness
becoming.
at that level? Or do you need another level after that?
That's if I go for the monastic tradition of the Shadow Monk. There's also the Quivering Palm. The Way of the Open Palm. And there's also one that's basically focused on magic,
Which
but more
sucks.
like elemental magic. Yeah, I've looked at those abilities. I'm not too keen.
Honestly,
on it.
everyone who
One
plays
thing-
D&D, like all the forums and stuff, even like the decent forums where they're not munchkin and go,
That's-
they just
that's
look at
a
them and
shame.
go, they're just...
That's a
they're
shame.
just- yeah, they
Yeah.
wish they could be buffed, like, but they're just so terrible that there's
It's
no
a shame
point
when
even...
there's a thing where it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
to take
like,
it.
see, it looks like someone just went, you know what, we need a 3rd thing for this, let's make, like, a waterbender as a
Yeah.
monk, and it was
I
like...
just take it anyways. Like, I never understand why that's a stop block for some people. They're like, oh, well, there's a better option, so I have
No,
to
it's
take
not
it.
just there's
you
a better
don't.
option, but they're legit
You don't
just so
fucking have to take
utterly
that better
terrible.
option. It's like if
Like-
I played a sorcerer, I would be a wild sorcerer in a heartbeat because it's more interesting. Like, yeah, of course it sucks compared to the dragon one, but it's more fun and it's more chaotic and it makes weird things happen. Like, you don't have to pick something just because it's better. Like, I never understand that mentality. It's a role playing
Well, yeah,
game. Like,
with
play what you
monks,
think it's more fun.
That debate comes down, but it's the debate between the way of the hand, like the damagey one, and then the I can't remember what the other one's called, the Way of the Darkness or
The
something,
way
which
of,
is the
way
awesome
of the
one.
Open Palm is largely considered the best monk school to go down because it has an insta-kill ability.
Yeah.
It's one of the very
But
few
the
in the
other one
entire
is
game.
considered the most awesome, despite the fact that it doesn't have as much damage. And there's a legit
More or
like
less
discussion
why I break
about
down
this
that
one's
one.
most damage, this one's the most fun.
Yeah.
But
See,
everyone just
don't-
ignores the last one 'cause
I'm
it's just
not
so.
I'm not
ugh.
an Avatar child, so the whole water bending thing doesn't seem that amazing to me anyway. It's like, just I get minor illusion just from being. If I go for the Shadow Monk, I just get minor illusion cantrip anyway. I didn't realize that until I was just reading it. I was like, oh, minor illusion. I too can be a human photocopier. Right.
It is really useful when you just start using the like utility spells. Just like, I can do this. Great, cool. Here's some letters.
I'm sorry that it's not going to end up being like that. It's going to be end up like pseudo. I'm just going to have minor illusion like halos above people's head, just calling them chicken shits and stuff.
The
like
problem
that.
with minor illusion
Just
is it's
more
not
fun.
linked to people; it's linked to the ground. So as soon as they move away,
I know.
like the halo's still going to be there. It's like, oh,
I'll just uncast it. It's fine.
just keep casting every 5 seconds. It would just like look a really shitty frame rate.
Slideshow for me. But no, I wasn't prepared for Mormon's abilities with his Eldritch Knight to be able to. I knew he could teleport his main weapon, but I thought that was it. So when he pulled out the axe, I'm teleporting that. I was like, a throwing weapon that can teleport back to you. That is such a ridiculously good idea. That blew my mind for a few minutes.
You get
Like,
two,
those-
so I can just pick any two things. It's great.
Absolutely.
'Cause originally I was
amazing.
like, oh, well, I can do my sword and my bow, and I'm like, wait, no, there's a much better option here.
yeah, that is absolutely amazing.
I even considered being like, what if I just did both axes? And just like pew, 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 pew.
Porque
There's
no
no
los
point because I
dos?
can't actually do 2 attacks a turn yet. Except with
That's
action
true,
surge.
actually. That's a good point. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. How about you, Splat? Anyway, you looking forward to the next session?
Yeah, it should be
Lots of
fun.
crazy stuff.
Next session will have, I don't know. Next session could go a couple different directions, and it really comes down to which way the party decides to play it. Today was pretty clear and cut in the way that it was going to go. Like, there was a couple spots where it could have split up,
Yeah.
but next time there's like 3 or 4 different things you can do, and so I'm going to have to spend my time with a nose down a book pretty soon just
I'm
to
gonna
make
give
sure
you a
that
clue.
everything is fleshed out.
It's going to be a long rest.
Yeah, rest would be good.
But where do
don't
we
really
rest?
have a
The house
place to
burned down.
rest. Yeah.
I'm sleeping with the
Yeah.
barrels in like the silo. Like that's
I was actually going to mention that the first thing the group is going to have to do after they explore the cellar is and ascertain immediate if it's something they need to deal with right away or not. But yeah, they need to get someone and rest. But the problem is, there's nowhere where you can rest. They're on a bunch of like open fields.
You
'Cause they
also
would-
don't know who you just took prisoner. That might also modify whether or
Yeah.
not you feel super safe resting.
Exactly.
I'm gonna call him Bob, in
Bob.
in reference
Okay, keep
to
Bob.
the fallen seagull. Bob.
Is he fallen? I thought he was still alright.
Seagulls don't live that long.
You live more than a
But,
few
like,
days, Shan.
It's been like
No,
it's
no,
been
they
like
don't.
3 days.
Well, they don't. You see, Adabi wanted to squish that bird's head because it was squawking so much. So he tracked down to the pier and found him and squished him.
what Adabi
Bob's
doesn't
dead,
know
boys.
is that because he can't tell seagulls apart very easily, he killed Bob's like wife, and Bob is now
Or
on a
better.
vengeance spree.
I squished
better.
like 15 of them.
You squished
I
his
was
entire
just-
family,
Roberta,
his grandparents, his
Bill.
parents, his children, Bobina.
Gonna be walking
Babette.
around, and then Adavi's just suddenly gonna be
Bobatron.
impaled by a knife from above that's been dropped
Bobrat.
from miles
Yeah,
up.
there's gonna be a
smallest little
seagull
knife.
on the roof with like a ninja mask on, just like running around chasing you guys. Every time you go through a docks area, like
Seagull
scaffolds are gonna
rogue.
fall and almost crush you, and then you just hear like the little pitter patter of feet running away.
Seagull Rogue,
I want
it's
that
the
to
best
happen.
class.
I want that to happen.
That'd be so fun.
No, Seagull Druid,
was-
and it Druid turns into people.
That would be amazing. That needs to happen.
Then you would have to assign different bonuses based on different types of people, and then people would just get all butthurt about it. They get super angry.
Well, you just take the
Like,
default stats for human, then you do the pluses and minuses for different races and stuff. Just take default
But
stats.
how do you do that without being offensive? That's the tough part.
Well, humans are 0, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for the average human.
Use the base
And
stats.
just take the base stats from there, up and down.
But I'm thinking then we're gonna have to ramp up this after show.
It was
true.
fun though.
It's
That was
true.
like
It
a
was
really fun show.
I'm gonna eat some pizza. It's gonna be delicious.
Oh, I'm going to Costco. They have pizza, but we've already
Their
decided to
pizza's
make
so
Alfredo.
good.
I know.
I'm
We've
going
already
to sleep.
decided to make Alfredo.
I love their Polish dogs. Oh my god, their Polish
They're
dogs are
good.
so good at Costco.
They're so good.
So good.
Yeah.
All right.
They're Polish dogs. You chop them up, and then you make them into little wieners that you eat. They're great.
I usually keep them inside those steam buns that they give you and just cover the whole thing with onions and mustard.
I just tell them
Just
they're bad
annihilate
dogs
that
and
thing.
kill them.
You're horrible, by the way. Why would you do that? That poor dog.
Goodbye,
Like,
everybody.
that was out of all the
God.
dog kills, that was the worst.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
everybody.
Everybody felt bad because you deserve it.
I've lost so much respect for MM today.
Yep. MM.